Let's take a look at how easy it is to draw in RouterCAD. Sometimes you just need to draw something. And we automated a lot of the cabinet process, but sometimes you just need to draw. And you need to know how to use those drawing tools to draw. So this is just kind of an overview of how to use some of the commands in RouterCAD. And I've kind of spaced this out across the drawings to kind of show you step by step how to start with just an empty drawing and end up with something like this, or in this case, just a host stand. So let's go back to the first. This is the drawing the customer sent in, and they've given you the dimensions. All you got to do is be able to recreate that. So it's pretty easy to do. And one of the things I like to do that is to use a rectangle as kind of a bounding box. So I know it's 30 inches wide by 46 inches tall. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a rectangle to start with. So if I come down the command line and just type in rectangle and select rectangle and then hit enter on my keyboard, it'll prompt me to select the first point. So I'm just going to come down and click somewhere in the screen. And then I'm going to type in from where I'm at, an at command, 30 inches, comma, 46. And that's going to draw me a rectangle. And that's the size the outer boundaries of the host stand that we're going to build. And I might as well just copy the rectangle I have here and just move it over. I can just type in copy and then type in the distance I want to move it. It's really easy to do. I'm going to type in 60 inches, and I can keep copying, but I just want to delete that. Now this, all I have to do now is change the width. The height's exactly the same, so I'm just going to change the width to 18 inches. So I can go over to my property dialog, find the width, and type in 18 inches and hit enter, and it'll automatically change that to 18 inches. Now we can also bring in or import these pictures, which I've already done, but how I actually did that was just go to the command line, type in move. I want to move those down out of my way first, sorry. We're just going to move those down, type in move and move them down. Now I'm going to bring in that picture. I can come over to the command line and type in insert. And I'll move this down where you can see it. And I'm just going to go say from file. And I've got those saved on my desktop in a folder. So I'm just going to go to the folder and then choose an image file. And I'm just going to take the copies because I've already imported these once. So I'm just going to say, okay, get it kind of close to where I want it to be. And click one time to set the base of it, wherever I want that to be. And then I can just stretch it to the size that makes the most sense. So I'm just going to stretch it out to about this size, and then I'm just going to pop it into place. And I can go ahead and go get the side one as well. I can just right click and use the last command. Again, go back to the image files and select the side view. And same thing, just click OK. I'm going to select everything on screen. Just kind of get close to where I want it to be. Set it, and then kind of stretch it out to a size that makes sense. Then just click one more time, right click, or left click, excuse me, one more time. And just set the image the way I want it to be in the thing. That way I can make reference to the drawing when I'm actually drawing it. Okay, so I could draw all this in one place, but I'm trying to give you an idea of some of the tools. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy these over. And I can just select wherever I want to copy, grab it from wherever I want to grab it. I'm just going to slide this over here. And I'll just type in, or just stick it there. Now, I want to start offsetting lines. This is a rectangle, so I don't want to offset all the lines. I just want to offset the lines I want to offset. So as a rectangle, if I leave it a rectangle, it'll offset the top, bottom, left, and right. So I want to explode that. The first time I explode a rectangle, it explodes it into a polyline. And that's valuable too, but I don't want it to be a polyline. I want those to be individual line segments. So what I'm going to do is explode it one more time because I want to offset just the sidelines. I don't want to offset the top and bottom. So if it's a rectangle, I need to explode it 2 times or 1 more time. So I'm going to explode it 1 more time. Now, though, if I click on those are individual line segments now. See, if I click on each line individually, it's just the lines. So I've exploded a rectangle down into individual line segments, and that's helpful. So now what I need to do is, I've talked to the people who we're building this for, and they want that to be 1 inch offset, from the side, because it's not on the drawing anywhere. So I had to find out what that distance was. So it's 1 inch. So I'm just going to type in offset here, and then select what I want to offset. And it's asked me for a distance, so I know that's 1 inch. So I'm just going to type in 1 inch and hit enter on the keyboard. And then I'm going to click the side I want it to be offset, because this is what it's telling me to do. So there's my 1 line there. I'm going to right click on the other line, click there, there's the other line. I'll go ahead and do this one too. I'm just going to click on it, click the side I want it to be offset, then right click on the line I want it to be offset to, and go to the right. So I've got these 2 lines offset now. Now if I look at the drawing, they want 7 inches to this bottom line, to the bottom of this 1 inch strip here. So if I go back down to the drawing, I don't really need that line to be there anymore, so I'm just going to move that line up 7 inches. So all I have to do is go to the command line, type in move, hit enter on my keyboard and select that line, and might as well select this one too. Right click, grab it where I want to move it from by left clicking, and just move straight up, and then type in on the command line 7 inches. So that moved up 7 inches from where it was. Okay, making reference to the drawing again, I know this is 1 inch in between these 2 lines. So I can just use the offset tool again, or I could copy, but I'll use the offset tool, I believe, and I'll just offset these 2 lines again. So I'll just type in offset again. And I'm going to select the line, right click to accept 1 inch and just offset 1 inch. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to right click, select it, and move it up 1 inch. So there's your 2 offsets. Now looking back at the drawing again, they want 20 inches in between this next set of lines. So I'm just going to copy the lower set and move them up 20 inches. So what I'm going to do is just go to the command line, type in copy, and I want to select this one and this one, this one, this and this and this one, and then right click, choose where I want to move them from or copy them from. I'm going to select here, just hold it straight up, and I'm going to type in 21 inches because I'm going from the bottom of 1 inch to the top. If I want to check that and make sure that I'm doing exactly what the drawings ask me to do, I need 20 inches there. So if I come down to the command line and type in tape for my tape measure, and I'm going to click right here and right there, and there's my 20 inches. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so now we want to use the trim and extend tool to create these little offsets. So if I go back down here where I can see it, and I type in extend, I want to extend those lines and hit enter on my keyboard. I just want to choose everything I'm going to extend. So I'm going to extend that line, that line, that line, that line, and go over here and select these lines. And I'm going to click on the boundaries I want to extend them to. And you can do this in any order. You don't do it in any particular order. Just select everything you want to, it's involved in your extending. Okay, so once I got these selected, I can right click and then just start clicking on what I want to extend. I want to extend that line, that line, that line, that line, there, 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 there. So let's see, I'm sorry, knock these two out. So we're good to go. Now what I want to do is get rid of the parts I don't want. So I'm going to type in trim. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select everything I want to trim. Yeah, I want to trim a bunch of stuff out. So I want to go select everything that gets trimmed. And go back over here and select this line here because I'm going to trim that out too. And go over to the other drawing. So obviously I can select everything that I want to get trimmed, not just one thing at a time, but a bunch of stuff at the same time. And if you miss something, you can always just trim it again. But anyway, so I've got everything selected that I want to be trimmed. Now I'm just going to start clicking what I want to get rid of. I don't need that line. I don't want that line. I don't want that line. Don't want that line. Don't want that line. And see, it breaks itself on the boundaries. When it crosses a line, it's going to stop trimming. So I can come in and just create this drawing any way I want to create it. I'll come over here and get rid of the stuff here that I don't want. And again, you can do this in any order. You just want to keep clicking the stuff you don't want. So I don't want that line there. I don't want that line there. And I don't want that line in the middle. But see, it's still capped. And come over here and get rid of that. So that's a portion of getting this drawing. I don't want to make the video too long. So thanks for watching this part. And there'll be another part to finish off the drawing. Thank you very much.